The Final Four is this weekend. I got the games right here. I didn't really remember who was playing who specifically, but we got Florida, UConn, Wisconsin, and Kentucky. I think that Wisconsin-Kentucky game might actually end up being the best of the two games.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of contrasting styles there. So first, we'll look back on our brackets. Ryan, I believe you hold all our brackets, and please, can we announce Darius's standings right now with the VCU national champion?
Here's the points. There's two people that cannot win. That is you, Matt, and Darius. Me and you are going to be tied, so I'm going to need your final score afterwards because that's going to be the only tiebreaker possible for this. But Darius, well, let's start at the beginning. Me and Adam both have 58. What helped him was having the Badgers in the Final Four because I did not because I had Arizona. So Arizona keep on winning was awesome to have because you guys didn't have confidence in them.
Yeah.
You're just 1 point behind. 57 points for you, Matt. Darius,
It's like golf. The lowest score wins.
46 points.
Ooh.
46. And you were basically done after the second day of competition. So,
Darius, care to explain yourself live on the air on 88.3?
I honestly don't think I can. So I'm just going to let him keep going. It's a tough time right now. I was going through some emotional things. Somebody stole my dog. Then I found out I never had a dog in the first place. So, I mean, that's just I'm just going to stick to that story. No, nothing else for me to say.
Nothing else?
Say nothing else.
Lost a little confidence in Shaka Smart
No,
and
I
Jabari
still
Parkey.
love Shaka. He just has players that aren't too smart. Jabari disappointed me. Him and Rodney Hood didn't do what I really expected them to do. Besides that, I mean, Michigan State, they had a nice run. So, I mean, Final Four-wise. I remember we talked about Ohio State and Dayton, and I was so close. Said I was almost going to pick Dayton, and I didn't do it. Aaron
I'm
Craft.
glad I just picked Dayton for one game.
Man, Aaron Craft, after 8 years in college, can't win one game. I mean, come on, man. And then UConn, I didn't even have them win the 8 game. Just over, I had them losing to St. Joe's. So, I mean,
Yeah, as a Michigan fan, that's what I get. I get karma for picking Ohio State in my Elite Eight. I think I had them in the Elite Eight in this one. I know I did for my other brackets. But I know I had them going at least
Sweet 16.
Okay. So, yeah, there you go. That's what I get. That's my karma for picking Ohio State to get to the Elite Eight or Sweet 16. I also have to say I did not think that was a foul in the Michigan State UConn game, which sent Napier, I believe, to the line, which ended up winning them the game essentially. But that's also what I get as a Michigan fan in picking Michigan State in the Final Four. That could have helped me in everything. I could have won basically everything I was entered in if Michigan State would have won that game.
Yeah.
So, Mark, if you're listening, I don't like your school right now. So,
I was shocked that Wiggins was absent. I got to see him both games. It shocked me against Stanford.
yeah.
Against Stanford
Told
in that
you.
second game.
Took 6 shots.
4 points.
I've said
I
since
think
day
I
one.
could have made 4 points on that.
Since day one, I've said Wiggins is overhyped and even overrated.
But now he's number 1 pick now.
I
Still.
don't
To Chad
understand.
Ford. Well, Embiid went down. Embiid had been number 1 for a
Oh,
while
okay.
until his back injury. So,
If anything, I'm saying your boy Darius, Julius Randle might be number 1. That might be who I would take number 1 right now.
I still go Jabari 1, but Randall would be 2. Wiggins, I'm not even taking him 10.
No,
Like, I don't
no.
like him. I never liked him. He hasn't done anything that he's athletic, but in the league, you playing a small forward, you're not really all that athletic. now.
In the NBA, everybody's athletic.
I mean,
the way
yeah.
I look at prospects, especially, is if you need to be athletic first of all, and then the skills can come from there. But if you're just going to go off pure athleticism, everybody in the NBA is athletic. These guys all have 30, 40-inch verticals. It'll get you by in college, but the NBA is a whole different animal.
So Adam, Mr. Bucky Badger himself, you've probably been wearing red all.
I have
Week.
worn all Badger stuff this week, and I am not ashamed.
Have you worn them more than once without washing them?
Wow,
Yes.
we just.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I've done laundry. Yes.
You have done laundry?
I'm about to say, he said
Yes.
without washing.
Yeah,
Oh,
without.
without?
Yeah.
That shows true fanism.
I
right
plead
there.
the fifth.
You plead the
I mean,
fifth,
we
okay.
just gonna say, yeah, we in college. Ain't no shame in your game. We happy over here, okay?
we don't
During
have,
the weekends, you ain't know. You sometimes it's just laying on your chair. You gotta put it back on. I mean,
Right.
come on, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it ain't like it's drawers or something. That's just dirty. If it's your drawers, then you need to wash yourself. But a hoodie, that's okay.
what are your chances that Bucky Badgers beat the one and dones?
See, I give them a decent chance because it's such conflicting styles. Wisconsin is going to ball control. They're going to take up most of the shot clock, and Kentucky wants to get up and down the court. I think without Willie Cauley-Stein for Kentucky, that's huge because he could come out to the three-point line, hedge on Kaminsky. Kaminsky's Wisconsin's go-to guy right now, and they're probably going to put Randall on him because he's a little more mobile, and he's a bruiser. He could wear down Kaminsky. I think for Wisconsin to win, they have to be disciplined. They have to kind of go back and rediscover themselves, go back to the old Wisconsin a little bit, in that they're going to need to take good shots, they're going to need to rebound, they're going to need to give the effort, and they're going to have to play good defense. They're going to have to keep Kentucky in front of them as best they can because they can't keep them in front of them for all 40 minutes. Kentucky's way too athletic. I think the big thing is you got to win the offensive rebound battle. You got to win the rebounding battle in general because Kentucky has just beat teams up on the offensive boards. Randall has been a beast. Dakari Johnson has come out of nowhere and become a beast on the boards. And with Cauley-Stein, he was a beast before that, blocking shots and such. So I think guard play is going to be another thing, keeping the Harrison twins in line. They did nothing. I was not impressed with them at all, and they've turned it on. So we'll see.
Yeah, they have turned it on.
I actually have Wisconsin winning, probably on a buzzer beater. Actually, with the way this tournament's gone, I think something crazy is gonna happen. I think Wisconsin pulls it out. I think it's destiny. I think Bo Ryan absolutely deserves it. So I've got Wisconsin.
I have Wisconsin winning also, and I'll ask you guys about it. I just want. Did anybody get to watch the Badgers play Baylor?
Yes. No.
I
Did-
think
did you
I
get to
watched
see-
a little bit of it, but I did not watch all of it.
That should be videotaped and handed out to high school players, other college teams, because that showed you how to pass the ball to get an open
Yes.
shot. It was a clinic because Baylor just did not know what was coming with them passing the ball at all. I was just watching in amazement. I'm like, I forgot how when they shot the ball because they were passing it 8, 10, 12 times, and they were just great passes, and Baylor would just get confused, leave somebody open, and it was just game over.
Well, I was sad to see Baylor go because they were wearing my favorite uniforms.
I knew that's where you was going with it. As soon as you said you were sad, I was like, oh, I know where you're
Yep.
going with this.
I mean, we don't have too many good-looking uniforms because the brighter the better. That's my motto. And I
That
have
means
gotten
you're
to
an-
many arguments with my father where it starts out with, if you look good, then you feel good. If you feel good, then you play good. So if you're in a highlighter outfit, it doesn't look any better than that. It really doesn't. I know you will agree with me, Darius. I know that you completely agree with that.
I don't agree at all, and that's all I'm going to say. I do not agree with that.
Because you're out there, and if the lights go off, then you can still see your teammates. That's how does it get any better than that?
That's the only reasoning we need. So what are your opinions on the? I think.
Well, seeing as neither of them wear neon, I will not be cheering for either of them. No. I got Kentucky winning this one. I want Wisconsin to win. Can't stand Kentucky. Can't stand Coach Cal. But I'm just gonna wait for when he leaves for the NBA. This banner gets taken away. Let's see. I'll go Kentucky just because they're the hot team right now. They got too much talent, I think, and the talent is finally living up to its potential. They're finally playing well. They're playing very mature, making good decisions with their with the ball, which we have not seen until the tournament this year. And I do have to say for Kentucky, the Louisville win impressed me a lot. I think that was a solid win. But why I don't want to say they got lucky because it was not luck, but they got the benefit of good matchups. Me and Darius talked about this earlier. Kentucky with Michigan and Wichita State were two teams that did not match up with Kentucky at all, specifically the size. These are two more running gun teams and perimeter teams that lived and died by the three. You know, in their small guard play, the guards would get inside and eat you up from there and kick out to a three. And that's not the style that's going to beat Kentucky. It's really not. So I feel they deserve to be in the Final Four. They've played extremely well. They're the hottest team in the tournament right now, but I do think they have gotten the benefit of the doubt from their matchups. That sometimes that's what you need to win the big dance, because this is the monster that is March Madness. But I do have to say they have gotten pretty favorable matchups to their skill set, which I think has helped them realize their potential, is because they've got these favorable matchups, and now they have the confidence going from beating a Wichita State and a Michigan and a Louisville. That was a solid win right there. But I think the Michigan and Louisville wins were definitely benefits of them having just complete matchup nightmares with those other two teams. I think Wisconsin matches up better with them, but I don't think they have the athleticism to contend with Kentucky. I hope Wisconsin wins. I'm going to be rooting for Wisconsin. Sleepy Floyd Kaminsky is my favorite player. He rolls out of bed and just drains threes because he doesn't even look like he's awake. But I hope Wisconsin win, but I'm going Kentucky for this first game.
Y'all know that one big problem I had in this tournament team-wise was Louisville. Couldn't stand them because of Russ Smith. Yeah. And Ryan, you called yourself being funny one time. Russ Smith on Twitter. But anyway, just because Kentucky beat them, I was like, you know what, Kentucky's cool with me. I never can stand Kentucky. Only player I've ever liked that played there, well, I like two of them. I like Michael Kidd, Gilchrist when he was there, and I like Boogie Cousins. That's the only two guys I ever liked from there. But I do like Coach Cal. So, Wisconsin, yeah, I saw them play the last game. Very good. I like how they play when they play like that. I like when they're shooting the threes. Sometimes they play very slow, all that defense. That might be nice for your program, but that ain't nice for my eyes. So, I mean, that don't really mean nothing to me. Just because, as you said, Matt, Kentucky is on a roll. They have size, and that's a really big key. I think I'm going to go with them on this game, even though them two Harrison boys are real ugly. I mean, even though that really doesn't count in the score, but they kind of should lose like 10 points.
It hurts Darius's eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're
good.
offending me and you're on television, like, you should lose points for that, because this is a thing about, viewers, If this was just being broadcast on the radio or something, it wouldn't matter. But just, you know what? This is what they should do. They should each wear them LeBron black masks on their face, and so we don't have to see the face and they can just play. I feel like that's what they should do, and everybody will be fine. But Kentucky, the sides have been playing well. Poitras has come in the last two games and just been playing some real good ball. Dakari Johnson, like you said, you still got Julius Randle.
Dakari's shooting up draft boards now, mock drafts all over the place.
You still got Julius Randle, and then what's the guy, Malcolm Lee, that played last game?
Yeah, that was the only time
came out of nowhere, and was just killing the offensive boards. So I think I'm going to go with Kentucky in this game, and the real reason I'm going with them is because I feel like they can beat the team who I don't want to see in the national title game. So that's why I'm really going with them, because I'm looking for matchups to take out them bums in Florida.
We know where you stand. Buzzer beater, you think, still?
I think so. As weird as this sounds, and me being a Wisconsin fan, I follow them pretty loyally, especially this year. Trey Jackson has become a pain in my side and my favorite player. It varies every game. It varies every minute, every quarter. I think he takes the big shot and makes it somehow. He did it at Michigan this year. And I think, as weird as it sounds, he's going to put them in the championship.
Okay. I have Wisconsin winning because I don't like Kentucky or Calipari, and you guys know that already. But even if I did like Kentucky, Kentucky is a run and gun, and I have a feeling that Bo Ryan's going like, we're going to slow them down to the point that they're going to fall asleep. They'll hold on to the ball for 30 seconds.
That would hurt Darius's eyes, though.
It would hurt Darius's eyes, but it's good to see defense once in a while, because it does not happen in the NBA until it comes time for playoffs. So gives you a little preview for the playoffs, I guess.
I mean, this is the thing. Kaminsky is a very good player, but
I think somebody else needs to score.
Yeah, they do.
Jackson needs to score.
Yeah, Jackson does, and Bruss needs to really have a shot going, because down low, I don't think Kaminsky is going to get too many post buckets. So, I mean, of course, when he's out on the three-point line, he'll be better there because bigs aren't used to going out there. But I really think it's on your guy, Adam. I think it's on Jackson, who, of course, is Jimmy Jackson's son. I think we all know Jimmy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know
I did not know that was Jim Jackson.
Yep, Jim Jackson's son.
So that surprises me. So we have 2 Kentuckys and 2 Wisconsins for the first one.
Okay.
Let's get to the second one, and before that, I want to say probably the best quote I saw from Darius during the NCAA tournament was, "I cannot believe that Shabazz Napier was not black.
He's just not black.
Yeah.
Puerto Rican. I didn't know that. I was
Really?
surprised. Like, I didn't know until they showed his mom in the crowd. And I was like, okay, now, of course, I'm intrigued and I got to do my research. So I look it up, and it was like, oh, yeah, Shabazz Napier, Puerto Rican. I'm like, Puerto Rican? The man's name is Shabazz
Yeah.
Napier. I
Was
just
he,
found
like,
it interesting.
Half Puerto Rican,
I don't-
half black?
I don't know.
I don't
Because
even-
they didn't say anything about his dad, but
Because
from
looking
what I
at
saw,
him, he
it
looks half white, half black.
He just
looking at
looked
him.
black to me. I mean, the man's name was Shabazz. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man, this Shabazz.
I had the same idea, but I didn't want to say anything. I was going like, when I saw him, I'm like, that's not Shabazz. Where's I thought the other guard was.
Oh, Boatwright.
Yeah, Boatwright.
6'3" kid.
And I'm like, they show his mom, and I'm getting so confused. I'm like, this lady is not of African American descent. I mean, it really don't matter, but I just be getting intrigued. I'm like, oh, I gotta look this up. So I'm going through Google Images, looking at previous ones. Maybe they showed the wrong mom and everything, and I'm just looking. I had to go.
They show us the wrong
maybe sometimes they got confused on camera, and it just really shocked me. He's been in college 4 years, and I just now learned that. Maybe that's why he's. Well, I just want to say the reason he's playing well is because he wears number 13. Just know that.
Okay.
I just because that's my favorite number, so he know who's watching. Just like how left-hand players, seem to play well when you see them on TV.
Yeah.
Because they know who's watching. That's all that's about. Just wanted y'all to know that.
All
Thanks,
right.
Darius.
So, all right. So, who do you guys have winning? I'll start off. Since I have the Gators winning it all, I'm just gonna stick with the Gators. I just like to see what they've done. They've been on a run, even though they've been the number 1 overall seed. Manhandling Pitt, who just destroyed Colorado. A good game against UCLA. And then, they didn't have much of a matchup against Dayton. So, hopefully this game's a little bit better for them because I'd like to see them a little tougher before going into the championship game. But I think just the down low, fast pace is going to hurt against Shabazz and Boatwright. And I cannot think of their tall player that they have down low who looks like a toothpick. I don't see him being able to muscle up against Young. Yeah, I don't see. I see Young just basically throwing him into the stands by as much muscle he has. So I have Gators. I'm going to say by 5 because those guards are great. I think their guards probably maybe almost are neck to neck with Gators guards.
Yeah, I'm going to go Florida, too. I'm going to say about a 10-point victory for Florida because UConn's success is their guards and Napier and Boatwright. And we were talking about this earlier, Darius. We both big fans of Boatwright because he's a 6'3" kid. He's from Aurora, which is right by both of us. He played at East Aurora. I got family goes to West Aurora, so I saw him play a lot in high school. So it's good to see him succeed, a fellow 6'3" kid. But UConn is completely and utterly dependent upon their guards. And Florida has been the most complete team all year. I think they will just do the march on to the national championship with very little resistance, I honestly see. And there's just really no team in the country that matches up with them at all. I think their biggest threat right now might be Kentucky because of the athleticism and size Kentucky has. But really, I don't see UConn offering much of a chance. I think their guards have a good game because of how talented they are. And it's just that system seems to be built well for them. They are always able to find lanes into the paint, and that's where they thrive. But ultimately, I don't think Napier and Boatwright are going to go out and beat the most complete team and dominant team in the country. So I see a fairly easy victory for Florida, but it is the Final Four. This has been a crazy tournament, so I'll go 5 to 10-point victory, kind of what you were saying.
Here's the crazy thing. Florida has 2 losses on the season to 2 of the Final Four teams, Wisconsin early in the season, and UConn was their last loss on a Shabazz Napier game winner.
Yep.
The thing about Florida that makes them unique and a good matchup against the UConn is that they can slow it down or they can fast break or they can shoot the 3 or they can go inside. They're just complete, as you said, Matt. I think UConn outplays them in the guard facet. I think Frazier is a little too inconsistent for me. He disappears at times just based on he's kind of one-dimensional right now with the three-point shooting. But I think Scotty Wilbekin can disrupt Napier or Boatwright. Whichever he's placed on, he'll probably be placed on Napier since he's the primary guard. Otherwise, I just think Florida's got too much down low and too much depth. UConn's not very deep.
They have like a 6-man rotation, really.
Yeah.
for UConn.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I think the more depth you have, especially in the tournament, you get a guy that has an off night, you can just plug someone in there. And Florida's got a lot of those guys. You get, I'm big on, he's kind of that glue guy that does everything for you. So I've got Florida relatively easy. I think maybe 12, 10. Florida's just too complete. UConn had a great run. Big shout out to Kevin Ollie. There were a lot of doubters that were actually calling for his job after he took over for Calhoun, and they struggled in the American Conference this year. But he's done a great job.
Shout out to Kevin Ollie for one reason only, because he played with AI. And in game 1 of the 0-1 finals, when AI dropped 48, he sat down for 1 minute, and you know who played that 1 minute for him? Kevin Ollie. So that's his claim to fame. I don't care nothing about this coaching. That's the best thing he's ever done in his life, was give AI a minute of rest. Anyway, now, I can't stand Florida. Don't like any of their players because ain't none of them going to be good in the league, and that really bothers me. I don't like watching college players. I told Matt this earlier. When I know that you're not going to be good in the NBA, like your game just doesn't fit in the league, it really bothers me watching you in college because I feel like I'm wasting my time knowing who you are because you're disrespecting my knowledge. And not my eyes, but you're disrespecting my brain because my memory is going to remember your name. But I see them winning this game, and I don't really see it being too much of a challenge. UConn, Shabazz is carrying them, and it reminds me a little bit of what Kemba did a few years back when he carried them to the title. Boatwright, I thought he was going to be better in college than he was. Like, because high school, he was a great scorer. That's all I used to hear about, all we heard about. I think no matter what, he should come back next year because he's a junior. He should definitely come back next year, and with Shabazz being going, that can be maybe his team, and he, plays better. But Shabazz is doing a good job, but I think he's really the only real option they have in this tournament. So I think just Florida just being so complete. And as you said, I don't remember the guy in UConn's name either, but I've seen their big men. They are real skinny. Patrick Young is just way too big. So I feel like Florida's going to end up winning this game. It's probably not going to be too close. And sadly, they're going to move on to the title.
I just think
game.
UConn's too reliant on their guards. Even their big men just seem to get rebounds, and then even if it's an offensive rebound, they don't look to score.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they kick it back out to Napier or Boatwright, and then they just set screen and get out of the way. And that's basically all they do. It's just the guards do everything for the team. And I don't think, 1, you could win a championship regardless if that's your strategy. And 2, you can't beat a fully complete team in the Florida Gators with just relying on 2 players. So if you don't have contributions from everybody.
Exactly.
All right, guys. It's time. Who will be cutting down the nets at AT&T Stadium, North Texas, this Monday night?
Why is it on Monday?
I
hate that.
I don't know.
Probably to compete with like the Monday Night Football.
Dumb.
What?
Dumb.
You know what's real dumb? Why
But it also helps out because you don't want to put.
Well, I understand you don't
Well,
want
you
the
want to do a
giant
Friday.
parade.
You want to do a Friday Sunday.
Not even Friday, Sunday. I'd rather do Thursday, Saturday. Thursday night is the Final Four.
I like the Monday, though. It makes it feel like prime time, prime time TV shows. I like it.
I don't want to stay up that late on a Monday. I'm an old man.
But it starts.
Well, okay, I do want to stay up that late, but I don't want to
veteran.
watch I don't want to watch my basketball on the Monday night. My national championship game. I want even a Sunday. I can do Super Bowl Sunday. Why not? Why don't we have national championship
It's
Sunday?
always been on Monday for a
It
long time.
has always been on Monday, and I've always been mad about it.
Yeah.
It should be on a weekend. It's a weekend event. It's a weekend event. If it was a series, it's one thing because it goes over the week, like the NBA, NHL, whatever. But if it's the Super Bowl, it's a big game. The Champions League final is always on a Saturday, and they're Europeans, and they do everything weird, but they got that right. And the Super Bowl is on Sunday, so the national championship game, since it's one game, should be on the weekend, so we can party, and I don't have to party on a Monday night.
Y'all remember the dude that won the Super Bowl MVP? What's his name? Malcolm Smith or something
Yes.
like that? And y'all remember how when he got interviewed in the press conference and the dude came up to the mic and said that September 11th was a thing by the government?
Yeah.
That's going to be Matt when they win, whoever wins the national championship. He's just going to run up to the thing. This game should now be played on a Sunday. And he's just going to leave and walk out. Security's not going to touch him anything. He's going to be right back in school for a Tuesday. So, I mean,
Darius, you weren't. We're not supposed to say that over the air and ruin my plan.
My fault. This has now been coded. I did
I
not
was
say
gonna
any of
get
these
Vine
words.
famous like that dude.
My fault. I didn't mean to mess up your plan.
That's okay. But I just thought I'd say that. Like, I don't like it. I don't
But
like
speaking of things that are stupid, why are we calling it North Texas? I'm tired of everybody
I
saying
didn't get that.
We are in Dallas, okay, the home of my Cowboys.
North
Well, we're technically we're
Texas is
Arlington,
hosting
but-
it. North Texas University.
Well, don't nobody care nothing about them. We at AT&T Stadium, the house that Jerry Jones stupidly built for everybody to come in and beat my team. So for one night, this going to be the Cowboys' night to shine, okay? I don't care nothing about these college teams. We're going to get some respect. Let's go, Dallas. That's why I got all my Dallas gear on now. In my mind, we're hosting the Super Bowl, and we're in it. There you go. And I guess I should just keep talking and pick who's going to win this game, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, Darius.
Yeah. Hopefully, even though I told y'all I don't like them, but I like Coach Cal, I hope Kentucky can do it. Just because I can't stand Florida. They're on the roll right now, and in the tournament, being on the roll is a big thing. They have the size to compete with guys like Patrick Young. Patrick Young is big. Julius Randle is big. They have a lot. Their guards, they're dynamic in their games and in their ugly faces. So there you go. I hope somehow. I just feel like they can pull it out. If they getting this far as freshmen, I didn't expect them to get this far. But I think when you're this close, that's when the talent really matters. So I think Coach Cal is going to be able to win, what, 2 titles? There's going to be a second one in 3 years? Because they won 2 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think somehow, some way, surprisingly, Kentucky's going to, bring down cut the nets.
Okay, so I've got Florida, Wisconsin. I got the Florida one right. See, I was anticipating a different Big Ten team being there.
Yeah, which
Michigan
surprises
let
me.
me down. And I would not be tied with you if Michigan had,
Yeah.
pulled through. But, gosh, it would be so great as a Wisconsin fan. They've made Final Fours in the past. They haven't won since, 1941. I'm going to throw that out just for child's play. But I think Florida, I just think they're way too complete. They can speed Wisconsin up, maybe. And if Wisconsin wants to play at the pace that they want to and slow the clock down, Florida can play that game too. Florida's just all around better. But if Wisconsin wins, I'll make it to Madison somehow, and I'll be on State Street, and I'll probably watch the city of Madison burn to the ground. But it would be great. Wisconsin wins, but Florida wins. Billy Donovan gets another one.
I have Billy Donovan winning again. I have him winning it, but I will be cheering against him. That's just my nature. I like the underdog story, except for Kentucky standpoint. But I still think Wisconsin's an underdog too. Kentucky anyway. When you have such big recruits, I think you should be up there. You're preseason number 1, so any person below that is underdogs except for Florida right now. But I have Florida winning, but I think it's going to be close. But Florida's way too complete. It seems like Florida wins championships when their teams are complete, and like I said, this team I think is better than the back-to-back championship teams.
Yeah.
They had before.
What? Better than Joakim, Al Horford, Corey Brewer, Torian Green, and whatever that number 12 white dude was that could shoot all the threes?
That was me. That was me.
Matt Langman?
I'm just saying as college. As college athletes, I think they're better.
I would not say they're better,
I don't know
but what
about
I was
that.
going off this, what I've told everybody is they remind me a lot of those teams. They're like those teams. I don't know if they're necessarily better because they don't have the star power, but they remind me a lot of those 06, 07 Florida Gator teams, a lot. And for me, I have Florida winning. Obviously, I picked them from the start. I've been riding them the whole time. They have looked pretty much unchallenged the whole time, and I don't see anybody really giving them a challenge other than Kentucky. I think Kentucky might be able to upset them. I think Florida wins 7 of the 10 games. And with that, percentage-wise, I'd take Florida over Kentucky because Kentucky's talent and size can really trouble the Gators, and they match up the best with them of all the Final Four teams and most of the teams in the tournament as well with the way they've played. But I think I'm going opposite what Darius said. Talent gets you there, but I think seniority and experience wins it. That's why we see the one-and-done struggle. We've only seen one true one-and-done team win it with that Kentucky team from a few years ago.
Yeah,
but I think when you have a team...
I wouldn't even call that a one-and-done.
Yeah, well, they were led by Anthony Davis, who was a one-and-done. That's why I say that.
Yeah, but you had... Who was the guy that came back for his junior year?
I don't know.
Kansas.
Most of their
He
guys.
was a
Was it
bigger
T?
guy. Oh, Jones.
Oh, Jones.
no, he was a sophomore.
I thought. Yeah, I
he
thought he
was
was a
a-
sophomore.
He was a
Yeah,
sophomore.
but he came back.
He came back.
He-
He was
yeah.
a sophomore that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
and
he
then they
did
had
come back,
one
and
other
he was the
dude,
leader
Darius
of that.
Miller,
Darius Miller.
who was a junior or a senior, something
Yeah.
like that.
But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, 5 freshmen I don't think aren't going to do it. And plus, Florida is just as talented as them, and they're all seniors, and they all have experience. They've done it all year. And I just don't see anybody truly being able to match up with them, whether it's talent, size, skill, whatever it is. I think Florida's just too good, too complete, and they win. I think it's a close game. It's a 3-point win over Kentucky in the title game. But ultimately, I think that's what does it for them is their seniority and experience.